Hey folks, it's Kozzi here drafting for Pick 1 Pack 1, and I have an interesting Stonescar tokens deck today. So we're going to see how wide we can go and whether it works for this particular meta. It's interesting, we've had a whole series of different Stonescar builds recently. As I said in the draft video, I have the suspicion I'm probably over prioritizing some of these cards. We don't have our low end here, so we're going to be throwing this back straight away. But it could well be that they're just open to me more than they should be. I remember playing Mana Barbs in a previous video before. We'll see how this one goes. Alright, so he's on Elysian something, which is interesting. Probably means that he's a little bit slower, and I do have a genuine opportunity here to try and get in for some early damage. I'm a little nervous not having a huge amount of card draw. It basically means what I've got here is my actual hand, and already these guys are going to be in a bit of trouble without some kind of pump spell or assistance. What I think we'll do is we'll sit back and wait a little bit. We'll have them ready so that in the future, once I drop my Atlan Sniper and the like, we'll be able to make use of them. We also have the Channeler in the deck, which means that I don't want to be chump attacking unless I know that it's getting me some reasonable damage in. And the reality is there's no point to be chump attacking just for 1 point of damage. Okay, so he's short on power, and it looks like he's got a high curve. If I attack with my sharpshooter, the only way he can punish me is with a lightning strike, and if he does so, then that's okay by me. And if he does kill it, then I want to make sure that I play my instigator afterwards so that I don't do 1 point of damage to myself. He doesn't have the removal. He could have the lightning strike, so I don't want to play lightning strike, lightning storm, the one that does 2 damage to everybody. So I don't feel as though I want to play my Grenadine drone quite yet. If I had the rally in hand, it might be a different proposition, but as it is, I'm nervous of losing those for no reason. I'll be very happy to draw a sigil here. To be able to kill that would be perfect. If he's to block my drone, he'll be taking 7 points of damage, which will be taking him down to 14. And then on my next turn, I'll be attacking for 9, 12, so it's not chump attack quite yet. I feel as though unless he can play 2 blockers this turn, he's in a serious amount of trouble. Either that or a board wipe of some description. Harsh Rule is a card in the deck. It could be one that could hurt me. But it is a rare, so you can't really play around it. It's a very, very strong draw for me. If I'm to attack in and he's to block favorably, he'll take 7 damage, so I think for the time being I still just keep my guys back in case I draw a Channeler, in case I draw a rally, but not overcommit more than I need to. It's funny, the last time I played I remembered him having a deck that was very, very similar to this. That's very, very nice for me. So, if I attack in with some of my 2/2s and he blocks, I could get myself into trouble. If I play my Soul Collector, and then next turn I play my Thorn Beast, killing a unit, offering attacks, it will mean that I'll Well, I don't think he's going to be attacking. He's under too much pressure with only 10 life. Yeah, I think that's the way. We'll keep developing. We'll bide our time for a little bit. As it stands, if I draw a channeler, he's on almost lethal. Taking an extra 6 will drop him down to 4. That's a little bit of a shame. Bwah, indeed. So I think we play the Chieftain. The Chieftain represents a block that's very problematic for him. And then we can attack in, and he's going to have to play into my Rampage. Taking the damage where he can is entirely fair. So now we know where we stand. I imagine if I attack with the Chieftain, he's going to be blocking with his 4th Tree Elder, which allows my Rampage to trade for the 4th tree. I still have my Chieftain, and I can do the same thing next turn. Sounds what I want to be doing. Don't think there's any other profitable attacks. If he blocks both of those and trades here, he'll be taking an extra 2, so no. I think we'll just do this single attack for right now, especially as we still have resources in hand. Whilst I have my Instigator, he also needs to be careful of blocks because each creature that dies. It's a smart block. I think we'll just let the... well, it'll be a trade even with Rampage. And I think the creature we want to make bigger is one that we don't care too much if it dies. So I think we'll put it on our token. The likelihood of him having something that does 1 damage... if he draws a Lightning Storm off the top, then he's going to not hit the Instigator. But I think I'm in real trouble if that happens anyway. So I think I'll just need to play as though he doesn't have it. I do need to get aggressive soon. A 7 in the air is going to represent a very considerable clock. So 7 will take me down to 12, and then he'll be attacking with 7. If he gets a land, that'll be 12. I think I made a mistake by not playing my Grenadin Drone. But this is definitely the time that we attack with everybody. So by blocking with the 1 power, this is going to be doing 8 damage, so I think I got lethal as long as he blocks like that. Oops, indeed. And there you have it. I know that I like Rampage more than most people, but that's exactly why. It allows you to both get into and out of situations that I don't think you otherwise could. So we got our first win against a very solid defensive Combrei deck. I feel quite content that we were able to break through that kind of defense. So for match 2, we have a minor celebrity here. Ken Ketter is a guy who plays on the Star City Tour. Very, very, very talented Magic player. This is a hand that I think I'd keep all day, every day, even though I don't have any more 1-drops. So I just need to make sure that rather than focusing too much on the commentary, I remember to play tightly this time, because I have gotten myself in trouble in the past by talking rather than thinking. and I don't think Kenketta's going to be making the same mistake. Depending on what colours he plays, I have the choice between the Stonescar Stranger and the Argenport Instigator. With him playing fire, I think I want to play my Stranger first and not open it up to being torched. Especially as if I draw a sigil in either next turn or the one after, I'll be able to play the Instigator straight away. Yeah, I think this is just confirmed. What I'd like to do. Ideally, I don't want to be using my torch this early. It may well be that he plays a blocker, I offer a trade, or I just continue to develop with my Rebel Sharpshooter. But it's important to know what your options are. So it looks like we're both on a Stonescar build. I'm curious to see what he's got. This will be nice if I get up to 4. It'll be very nice indeed. I'm happy to trade if he is. And I definitely don't want to be losing the inertia that I get being the first player. Now it's interesting that he chose not to block there. He could plausibly be respecting a trick from me. He could plausibly not have that many creatures and he's trying to value his resource, although that's definitely not the case now that he's offering a trade. I'll be happy to let him get in. If I draw another sigil, we can cast the Recogulator with the Combust in hand, which I feel is a very nice position to be in. But a lot of it rests on what you're going to be doing next, mate. Okay, so we didn't hit the sigil, which is a little bit of a shame. He's offering up a trade. I know that I don't have a lot of ways of pumping up my Sharpshooter. He doesn't, which is why it makes a lot of sense that he chose to shrink the Sharpshooter. Beyond the fact that he could trade with either of these, but not the Sharpshooter initially. So yeah, I think I don't have an issue with offering up the trade. I'd be thinking about it differently if I knew I had things like Ornate Katana in my deck, but the only real weapons that I have are my 2 copies of Rampage and my 1 Minotaur Chieftain, and whilst I'm only on 3 power, the Minotaur Chieftain is not going to be a factor for me at all for the time being. Trade is fine by me. Now that's a creature I do want to kill. There's no 2 questions about that. And we're getting a little bit sigil screwed right now. So I need to work out my best way of playing considering that. If I kill his Ranger with my Torch, I put him onto 19, he takes 5 going on to 14. And we're winning the race. And if I draw another sigil, I'll still be able to stabilize on the border. If he plays a creature that's big and scary, I'll be able to use my Combust on it, which isn't ideal, but it's an option. Or indeed, even if I draw a Granite Drone, that would be amazing. Alternatively, I can keep my Torch and sit back. He'll probably attack only if he has a pump spell, so if I then block, I've got a chance of 2 for 1-ing him. Or if he has a removal. But he hasn't played the removal yet, and I imagine he'd want to kill the Argenport Instigator relatively quickly. So if that's the case and I want to try and get my 2-for-1 and sit back, then the question is whether I want to attack him my stranger. I don't think he'd block, and I only really get punished if he has removal and a pump spell that's big enough to save the ranger. Okay, he's definitely got a combat trick of some description. Just ship the turn. This is the turn where I can fall behind. By missing that sigil, he's going to be able to saturate his power a lot better than I can. I think in this scenario, his ranger needs to die. I want it to die whilst I can get an extra damage in. And I'm quite glad that he was forced to use his Fire Blast on my 2-drop. So if we draw a sigil here, we'll be okay. So my next decision point is the Cabal Recruiter to try and menace him, or the Recogulator to play it safe and know that I'll get value even if he can remove it. I don't think there's really a question here, considering his creature only has 1 toughness. There's no way he'll be able to get through all 3 of my creatures. I'm actually quite happy to see that, because it's going to give me a 2-for-1 when I use my Combust. And that's a smart creature to choose to put that weapon on. I have no profitable attacks, so instead I'll just use my mana. So I think my perfect draws right now would be a Rally, so I could play the Channeler. A Bolt doesn't help. Well, a Bolt's okay, I can attack him with my 1/1s. A Rampage would be nice, it enables me to be able to attack with my Cabal Recruiter and get the damage in. And that attack is quite interesting. If he has a Bolt or a Rampage, if I just had the 1/4 up, I imagine he'd just be attacking to test the waters, but he has quite a bit more. If he has the +4 and Quick Draw, then I lose my whole board. If I quadruple block, I think we'll just give him the option of playing it now, rather than trying to get too greedy. That stash definitely hurts. I don't know if he has a 1-drop though to prevent me from getting in with my Recruiter. Oh, okay, he's got the Sigil. So if I'm to attack, he's very, very likely to block my Recruiter. So I can effectively get some free damage in now. However, if I attack with my Recruiter, I won't have a convenient blocker, although he's going to be playing the Quick Draw weapon, so I need to hold back my chump blockers. If that's the case and I'm chump blocking, then this is probably the best value I'll get out of my Channeler now. So perhaps my best option is to attack with the Stranger and the Recruiter. He's likely to block the Recruiter. I'll get in my 2 points of damage. I've got my chump blockers for the Return and the Channeler. Yeah. Whilst he has the quick draw and I don't have removal, he's definitely favoured in this position. So I feel as though I need to just get aggressive. If you feel as though your opponent has inevitability, which his Smuggler's stash just provided for him, then you need to get on the front foot. I guess his decision is whether he thinks I have a trick. He's probably respecting Rampage right now. Or he has a penchant for the dramatic. And he wanted to keep me waiting as long as possible. Oh, I forgot about that combination between Infiltrate and the Channeler. That's sweet. I'm glad I know it now for future matches. So if he's to block my 3 and block my 2, I'm currently representing 3. Slightly less now. You had a kill a token, or even better than a token. So now I have the choice of double blocking with my chump blockers, or swapping or trading for the Channeler. I feel as though I need to last as many turns as I can. If he has the Rampage, he'll be going to 3 toughness as well. Thorn Beast is just about perfect for me right now. I've got no good attacks. And I have nothing that costs more than 5, so I don't want to show him that I only have a Sigil in hand. If he has Rampage, it will be going to 8 power. So I don't want to die, I don't want to lose 2 chump blockers. So if he has Rampage, it's +3/+1, so it'll be 8. -2 is 6. Yeah. I need to respect that. He's thinking, so he definitely has something there. Definitely has something. So, if I'm to attack, he'll attack with both if he has the Rampage that I've respected. And so I'll die anyway. Unless he respects me having a pump spell. If he does have Rampage, which I've already respected once, so it makes no sense to stop respecting it. Then if I stay back and he double blocks, or this would have been a lot easier if I didn't draw a Sigil. I think I need to stay back there. I think the likely... Actually, perhaps that's a mistake. Perhaps he had to fear that I had a bolt. Perhaps he had to fear that I had Well, a rampage of my own wouldn't have done it. That would have been 8 minus 1 is 7. We'll respect it again. He's trying to work out if he wants to get me down to 1 and represent 2 creatures. And we're sigilling out, unfortunately. Yeah. So if he attacks with both, he rampages, he goes up to 8, so he does 3 through plus an extra 2, I'll be on 5. If I block here, he'll be doing 5 and a rampage kills me. He dies anyway, so I'm now in the spot where I have no choice but to just let him do it, because I'll be dead either way. And this is where I feel very silly, because he doesn't show me the rampage and I've played around it the whole time. Yeah, sure. I'm glad the Bwahaha is becoming a thing. So yeah, we really lost to the power stash there. I think his card draw just totally overwhelmed me. There might have been opportunities for me to get more aggressive, but I feel as though I played tightly in that match. Other than not attacking. However, if I had attacked and he was holding onto the weapon, then I would have been a strife anyway. If I draw 1 sigil, I have something to do on turn 1 and turn 4. If I draw a fire sigil at any stage, this hand's fine. I'm on the play, so I have about 2 or 3 draws. Yeah, okay. I think it's borderline, but I think it's borderline keepable. So, I was wondering before, perhaps I should have said out loud, that my decision now is whether I want a 2-2 as well as a 3-3. Given that there was a stop there, he's either got Levitate, a bounce spell, or Lightning Strike, and perhaps he's waiting on it. That would be an argument for me wanting to have a 5-5. So I could play the 3-3 now and then the Soul Collector on my future turn, or alternatively I could play the Fire Sigil my drones, then next turn play my Thorn Beast and also have Torch. The way that I get blown out by doing this is if he has Lightning Storm, then I'm in a bit of strife, which is possible, but I feel as though the upside is too high. Okay. So it was Second Sight that created the stop there. Plausibly has something else, especially now having seen cards, but depending on what he does, my other question then is how greedy do I get? I could plausibly push for even more value with the Soul Collector. The only question is I'm not quite sure how her order of operation works. I don't know whether she sees these ones dying and then gets bigger, so she'll survive a Lightning Storm, or if she'll die at the same time. My suspicion is that she dies at the same time, so I don't much want to take that risk. But I do want to keep attacking in. I'm very happy exchanging a 1-drop for a 3-drop. And the fact that he's tried to remove a creature with 1-on-1 removal makes me think I'm quite safe. An Echo card means that he definitely didn't draw Lightning Storm this turn, which is good news. And just in case if he has removal for one of my creatures, I'm very, very happy with that trade. To drop a 1/1 which becomes a +1/+1. So the question is, do I bolt the links, which allows me to get in for 9 points of damage, or do I just attack with my Thorn Beast, which will get him to 8, so I'll be representing that amount of damage next turn. If I bolt the links and I attack for 9, he goes to 4. He'll need to be killing both the Thorn Beast and whatever other creature I play. Yeah, I feel as though that's the go. This means a Lightning Storm on its own doesn't finish me. He'll need to play 2 blockers, so perhaps I should be playing my Vulture as well. Yeah, I think I do here. Because a Lightning Storm won't be enough. He won't be able to kill my Thorn Beast. Well, there you go, folks. You just had the opportunity to see pretty much a quintessential tokens win. Basically going wide when they can only cast one creature a turn and we're able to remove them, or indeed if they get stuck on power, then this is your opportunity just to punch through and win. It's pretty simple advice, but if for 1/3 of our games, or for a possibility of our games, we get screwed, well then I want to be the person who wins those games by having the lowest curve, and that's exactly what this deck tries to prey on. So we're currently at 2-1. The loss was an interesting one. I think that we were in a very good position until he had the Smuggler's Stash, and the reality is that card's just a bomb in the right deck, and so I think he won because he had the most powerful card and I didn't have enough tools to deal with it. Beyond that though, this deck has been running pretty smoothly, so I hope that you'll join me for the next video as we play matches 4 to 6 with this Stonescar tokens deck. This has been Kozzi, drafting for Pick 1, Pack 1.